Good evening, and you are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly. Yes, I'm here at John Paul Park Zoo in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that's in the county of Kent. And as you can see, this is year three for me. The first year was in 2023 when my husband died, and I did my art prize piece, Dying to Give Life. Ah, I was a basket case. I cried the whole time. I think I just rolled like halfway up, and then I just sat in my wheelchair and I just cried. I couldn't even get through it. I ended up leaving and getting on the bus and going back home. And this last year was year two for me, and I did so much better. And the volunteers was like, "Oh my God, you're doing so much better this year." I said, "I know." And last year was the first time that my husband's picture was in there, and he was right at the front because they do it alphabetically. So he was like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, number 11 in or 12 in. So I was like, oh my gosh, he was right there in my face. And I said, wow, I did so much better. Last year, I was able to make it almost up to the top where they had the Dippin' Dots, and then I had to stop. This year, I plan on going just a little bit further, but I'm doing something a little bit different this year. I have with me Miss Nancy Blodgett, no relation to the hospital family, uh, who has been a volunteer for more than 20 years with Gift of Life. How did that happen?
I lost my daughter in September on September 24th of 2002. Very unexpectedly. She was 6 weeks shy of her 10th birthday.
Oh, she was a
She was
baby.
a baby.
Oh, you're gonna really make me cry. Okay,
Yeah.
she's a baby.
It took me a little while to get where I'm at today.
I understand.
The Gift of Life was fabulous. They have groups. They have donor council, donor family council, and I just love to talk about my daughter. So, and it's what keeps them alive. She was a donor, donated 5 organs, both of her eyes and skin.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm excited. I actually found out on February 14th on Love Day that they were able to get 115 donations from my husband. I was able to give skin, artery, veins, and bone. So they took both of his legs.
Oh my gosh, I want
So 115 people were able to be helped. I just it's like, oh my, because I hadn't heard anything. And for the first year, because you don't have to wait a whole year before you can inquire. And the first year went by, I couldn't do anything. So this is the second year, and I finally got the courage to call. And when I did, they weren't able to tell me anything up front. I did donate his eyes, and they told me they weren't able to use them. So of course, I cried, and I got depressed, and I got angry, and I said I should have never allowed them to take them. They should have known that they couldn't use them. And I mean, I went through the whole 9 years, and then I finally came to myself, and I said, okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's, it's okay.
Yep.
But it really took the air, the very air that I was breathing. When you think that you give something away with the intent of being used, and to think that that was my baby's body parts.
Yeah.
And
Think of all the things that did help.
yeah,
I know it's hard.
what
I get.
what kind of like brought me out of it, I didn't realize that it had been 2 weeks since I just was going through this whole fit. And she called me on Valentine's Day to tell me that um, so they called me. She said that I wanted to make sure I called you. It was really late when the information came in last night. So I knew I had to call you first thing this morning and let you know your husband helped 100 Thank you. Thank you. I just, I stopped crying then. Yes, I stopped crying then. I did. I stopped crying. And I just said, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To know so many people will be helped. Yeah. So many people. Most precious gift you do. Mhm. So have you heard from your family?
Yes, so, it's been 23 years. In the beginning, it was very, very hard for me I wanted to know them. I wanted to talk to them. I didn't meet any of them except her liver donor, her liver recipient.
Okay.
And, it still took me 12 years to meet her. She lived for 17 years and then by the grace of God, she passed from colon in 2019. So,
Okay, I'm about to cry.
but I had 5 years with her. I had five
I'm
beautiful years with her.
I'm sorry. This is so-
I have,
It's like you have an opportunity to have your person, be with somebody else, and then they're gone too.
it was hard. It was very hard. I cried a lot.
Um,
Um, but I was grateful to have had the time. It took me a long time to say that I was grateful to have the time to find them. Um, she was a really special person. She was 15 when she got my daughter's liver and got to live until she was 32. So,
well, that's not bad. I mean,
it took, or 34. She had the liver for 17 years. So,
okay, because at first it seemed like she died like within 5 years.
no, I only actually knew her and met her the last 5 years of her life. It still took me 12 years. I've had recipient families ask me why their donor families don't reach out, and it's hard. It is, that other, it's the most precious gift you can give, but that person's alive with your story. And that's hard to take.
Okay, I gotta get my face together. Yeah, and she told me when she called me to tell me about the 115, she said, "Don't expect." And then I just started crying. I cried.
Yeah.
She says, "Don't expect, anyone to come back." She says, "We very rarely have someone, to come back. So you have to be okay with that. But you have to know that your husband helped 115 people." Then I got excited again. I was like, 115 people. That's a lot. But to think that not one person, and I said, God, you need to help reconcile that for me, that not one person. And I said, you go to the story in the Bible where he says he helped 10 lepers, but only one came back. And I'm like, I can deal with the one, but you're telling me that 115 people, that not one God can come back and say,
I can't.
because bone marrow is the most difficult, the most difficult thing to give and to receive. You wait a long time
Yes.
for bone marrow. You wait a long time. And the fact that I gave 2 legs, that just, okay, I'm not gonna cry again, but
And now I feel so much more grateful that I did have some of the donors, some of the recipients want to come to me. But Bonnie was the only one I had that I stayed in contact. But we did have several reach out to us, and so now my heart goes out to you. That's just because I was on the other end where I did get people that came and thanked me, and I can't imagine not having. You're right, I can't imagine.
I will say the whole world to hear, I would still do it again.
Absolutely.
I would still do it. and thank God for the 115
That's
people.
right.
I do. I thank God for them. I pray that they have a long and fabulous life. I really do.
Yes, absolutely.
And just enjoy it. And please take good care of it.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
take good care, because that was a major sacrifice.
absolutely.
You know, I guess people don't understand the process when you're on the other end of what it is for you to receive that phone call that you don't want to get in the middle of the night, or the knock on the door. So, you know, to get the knock on the door first, you know, waiting for him to come home, knew he was going to be home in a few minutes, and to get the knock on the door from the police, and then to have the coroner call me, and he's asking me all these questions. And I said, you know, I watch NCIS, FBI Now, you know, I watch all the shows. I watch Dexter.
Yeah.
And not once have I ever seen where the coroner called the family.
Oh, right.
I've never seen
Yeah.
where the coroner calls. And so the coroner called me, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, why are you still working at 3 o'clock in the morning? But it was time sensitive, because as soon as he saw the body, he was like,
Right.
oh, you know, we could probably harvest, or I should say, do a recovery.
Correct.
And this the wife called at 5 o'clock in the morning. No joke. It was 5 a.m. Who do you call at 5 a.m. to help you to make that kind of decision?
Right.
I mean, I just not 3, 4 hours ago, I had a police,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. It does happen all so fast. And it is because it's time.
and then when she said to me, we only have like 12 hours. We've got 12 hours for you to make a decision. And I said, okay, now, God, you need to help. You need to help. I will forever be grateful for the Wyoming VA, for my primary first, my acupuncturist who did battlefield acupuncture, to my primary care doctor, and to my therapist. My acupuncturist, she says, where is your husband? And I said, we actually will call him my Uber driver. So where's the Uber driver today? I said, oh, he died a few hours ago. And I went on by my business. I said, come on, let's go. So I can go on home, get back in the bed. And he said, wait a minute, what did you just say? Where's Mr. Barrington? I said, I told you. He just died a few hours ago. And he was, you're not processing this. Let's go. I didn't even get my battlefield acupuncture. I never got it. He took his card, he swiped his card, let's go. He wheeled me down so fast, down there to my VA folks, down to the green team, and swiped that thing at the green team, and took me back there, put me in my room, and Cindy, you know what? Barrington is gone. So you hear everybody screaming, because everybody knows my husband. Well, knows both, because we both go to the VA. And everybody is screaming. And I'm like, I don't know what they doing all this for. I'm ready to get back in the bed. All this foolishness. I didn't realize how I was in such shock, because everything did happen so
So
quickly.
fast.
And Cindy came in. She sat like this in front of me. She grabbed the face of my chair, pulled me close, looked me dead in my face. My friend. I said, yes, ma'am. Where's your husband? I said, I played too much. I told you, he died like 4, 5 hours ago. I came in here to get my battlefield acupuncture, and he clowning, and he don't want to get my acupuncture. I said, but oh, by the way, I said, Gift of Life did call me. I said, they want me to donate them, so I don't know about all that. I said, did anybody call Linda? That's my therapist. No. I'm gonna get on the phone. They had her on speakerphone. Of course, her office is right down the street, or down the hallway. She's on speakerphone, and Kim, yes. Kimberly, yes. Dr. Barrington, yes. Where is Stanley? And I broke out crying. So they were like, you need to call Gift of Life. You're gonna stay right here and do it. We're gonna be right with you. It's gonna be the best thing to help you.
Well, that's what you know.
Yes. I think the initial idea of someone having his eyes and wanting to know, will he see me if they look at me?
Right.
You know, that was it. The biggest thing.
It's time. Definitely takes time.
What all was she able to donate besides her liver?
All of the organs. She donated her liver, both knees, her heart, both lungs, um, both eyes, and skin. The one that touched me the most, which everyone thought would be the heart, was Tim. She had the biggest heart of anybody. The one that touched me the most was that 80-year-old man got one of her eyes. And so for me to be 80 years old and to see through the eyes of a 10-year-old child,
Yeah, I'm gonna cry
that was the
again.
biggest for me.
Oh my
Not
God.
that I wasn't grateful for the heart recipient.
Right, yeah.
But the eyes, that's all I thought about is how it must feel to see through. To give sight to someone. So for me, that was.
I didn't even get no tissue. This is just, oh my God. This is just too much. Too much. Somewhere. Can you imagine being 80 years old and seeing light through the eyes of a 10-year-old? How long did he live?
I'm not sure. I know he lived quite a while longer, and he always talked about how beautiful everything was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he couldn't believe how green the trees were, how blue the water was, and I got messages that he was ever so grateful to be. So I thought that was fabulous. And she saved 5 lives. She gave 5 major organs. And um, we got word that one of her kidneys that went to a gentleman who passed 3 months after he got her kidney. His wife said it was the best he had felt. Those 3 months were the best. And he got to meet one of his granddaughters. So
Gee,
They had a
made me
grand-
cry
he had he
again.
had a grandbaby born in that 3 months, and he got to see her where he wouldn't have had. So that's what I take from the organs and the lives that my daughter touched. That's what I take from it. It's the joy they got, even if it was just a short time, because 10 years was not long enough for my daughter. She lived a lot in those 10 years, but it wasn't supposed to happen. She wasn't supposed to go. And that doesn't happen. Your children don't go before you. I have so much faith and I have so much family support that I just, he needed her more than I did, which I didn't know how that was possible, but
And so did the other people.
yeah. I have myself faced a couple of very close calls with death. And I believe she's saying, it's not your time, Mom. You got a lot of work down there to do. And this is what I do. This is the volunteering I do to help people that I've lived through it. So I know. 5 years after I lost her, I couldn't talk to like this. But the more we talk about them, the longer they live. Oh, that keeps them alive. That's right.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I saw you here last year, and you did do much better last year than the first year.
Yeah.
I saw you the first year too. I've done the zoo every year they've done it. It's been
Yeah.
8 or 10 years now. So
And this year I'm crying.
not like you were though, honey. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
She's doing so much better.
It was terrible at first.
It's okay. That
'Cause it was just what? That was from April, May, June, July,
Yeah.
August. No, it was July.
July. It was in July.
So 5 months.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only 5 months.
That's okay. Everybody grieves the way they need to, and Take as long as you need to, and
Y'all hear that? Take as long as you
as
need
long as you
to,
need to.
to grieve.
That's right.
As long as you want to. I think I have really good days. I even said today that there's so much that I can do because of him.
Yes.
And decision making. Woo, woo. I mean, to make such a life changing
Yes.
decision
Yes.
in a short amount of time, that it does something to your psyche.
I feel like I am who I am today because of, he made me the strong person that I am. And she was my best teammate. She was my best teammate. God made me her mom for a reason. And I don't know what those reasons are. And someday when I meet my maker, I might know. I don't question it. I just keep doing what I'm doing because I know God put me here for a reason. So
And I'm glad that he made me his wife.
exactly.
And I just got a phone call because I think there are things I probably would not have done, would not have gotten involved in
Yes.
at all, at all, had I never done this.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
taken my advocacy to a whole nother level. I mean, you're talking about upping your game when it comes to advocacy. There's nothing like this when you're advocating for life.
And I'm sure that you are helping so many more people than you even know. Just with the interviews, just with you talking about it, just the spreading of the awareness of gift of life. Because when my daughter passed, her dad said, "Can we donate her organs?" And I said, "What are you talking about? I had no clue." And it happens all so fast. You're not wrong. They ask you to make life altering decisions in an extremely short amount of time. And you were just told that your loved one's gone, and then they want to know if you want to. I didn't even know what that was. But I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and the Bronson Hospital had the greatest staff. They saw me through all of it. They helped me through making those decisions with my husband, and I'm sure by the faith of God, because I have strong.
That there are no words, I don't think, to describe
No,
a process like that.
absolutely.
You know, I think it's one thing when you have the opportunity to take time as a family
Mhm.
when you're getting ready to pull someone off life support. Now, I've been there where they called us and said my cousin wasn't doing well and she was on life support and we're going to have to pull the plug. I mean, we all had an opportunity to talk, ask questions,
Yeah.
you know, with the doctor, spend our last moments. But when you lose someone unexpectedly and you're still reeling from the tragedy, and then you're asked to make this decision. And it's not like you can call a consortium amongst folks because
Correct.
you do not have time.
Such a
It's so
time
time sensitive.
Yes.
And
Very, very.
words just can't describe it.
No, they.
It just nobody can say, I know how you feel. Girl, I know how you feel. Because I remember my baby mama cousin, it's not like that. It, there's nothing that you can really compare it to her. I've tried. Trust me. I truly have tried to say, now this is life. And who could come alongside you
Right.
and say, I know what you feel. I know what you're thinking. Uh, there wasn't.
Right.
And the first thing I thought was he died on Friday. They received his body in Ann Arbor on Saturday. He got to the funeral home on Sunday. And when they called me Saturday from the hospital, and and this is the part that makes it so surreal, is that they call and they say, "Hey, Mrs. Barrington, yeah, we want you to know that the surgery was successful." I about lost it. because we associate, a good surgery with a good outcome. That everything went well, it went as expected. You have that expected end with the assumption that there's going to be life
Yes.
afterward, and it wasn't. Not for you anyway, but for those 115 people
Yes.
that received him. Now there was life after that.
Or life was altered.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Absolutely. Say,
Hello.
oh, this is what it's gonna be with you. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful. And in that moment, though, still, I think in shock when she says, "Okay, the surgery went well," and I said, "You know what's gonna happen? I am going to do some shows about this. I'm gonna educate people now that I know. Let's talk more in depth about this." And I'm excited that I'm gonna get to teach people about donating and what that's like. And in that moment, how to find yourself and how to get centered
Yes.
to say yes. She says, I've been doing this for more than 20 years. I have never had anybody respond like that when I called them to tell them the surgery was good. You're thinking about how you can help other people. I said, honey, this is how it's going to help me to cope.
And everybody does it in different hopes in different ways and grieves in different ways.
Mhm.
I can't say enough about just taking the time and do you.
Mine was educate, educate, educate.
Absolutely.
It was educate. Immediately, did it. I looked at my calendar. I started moving people, around as far as the show was concerned. And I called Allison. That's who was in Kenny's place right now. So you guys met Kenny on last week. We all know him as Kenny, but right now he's Kenneth Henderson, Mr. Henderson to y'all. He is the community outreach for Gift of Life Michigan. Like what an awesome, opportunity to have him there in that position. So he was on the show last week, and we talked about this whole process, and it was just awesome. And then I looked at what it was like if I hadn't known, if I hadn't gone through. How can I put this all together so that I could help other people? And so my first piece was art always works with everybody, and it's healing. So I did a piece for Art Prize, which was in Veterans Park downtown. So I started with the piece, and then I went into the interviews. I started with Allison, who gave, the overview. Then we went into education, answering all the questions, all the misnomers, removing all of the doubts and the myths.
Yes.
Kind, donate.
Right.
And then the two types of donation. Then we went from that into Miss Bacon. Miss Bacon talked about receiving her heart. And then we went from somebody who received the organ into someone whose family donated.
Uh-huh.
We talked about the workers that go to the hospital
Yes.
and those who make the phone call.
Yes.
So we had that conversation. I had a heart attack in the middle of all of this.
Oh my.
And so my cardiologist came on and talked about the effects of having had to make this decision, dealing with the death, and then turn around having a heart attack. And how it all kind of like fits in and know the signs, know the symptoms, and that it can happen to you too. Or this type of heart attack, it was called a broken heart syndrome, from the stress
Yes.
of making those decisions, just so quickly. And then we went from my cardiologist who did my surgery to the doctor who actually does the transplants. And if you're on the team, you either are the recipient team doctor or you are the recovery doctor.
Right.
He said, I asked him what was his most memorable recovery. And he said he's been on both sides. And his most memorable one was when a baby had died. And of course, I start crying. You know me, I'm crying. He goes, no, 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 no. He goes, I cried too. But what happened was the parents, everybody picked out the music. And the parents got to meet And he said, I got to take the heart from one baby and reanimate it into another baby. He said, so see the reanimation, the heartbreak of removing, right? And then the reanimating was just unbelievable. We all had to take a moment.
I can't even believe it.
We all had to take a moment. And I appreciate him for his candor and for the family, allowing him to share that, with the Rolling family. Or I call them my family, hey family. But the the thought of it,
Yeah.
sir. You go that way. They're trying to give me some water while we interviewing.
Thank you.
Fuck roll through that. The waterman is coming through. So we appreciate him though. We're gonna grab some of that water when we get done. But the thought of reanimating baby, right?
And the heart is, I did find out with my daughter, having been a donor. The heart is one of the organs that has to fit the cavity of the recipient. So they have to look for specifically a person of that body stature and, similar breast, measurements and, because she was 10 and one of her kidneys went to a 48-year-old man. And that was okay because
What does that work? I mean, were kidneys even large enough
they
to?
were large enough to do what they had to do for him because he was an older man. Her lungs went to, she was 10 and her lungs went to, early in her 20s, young lady, one of them. So, and that could also be that was just a small 21-year-old or early 20-year-old. But I know for sure the heart had to fit exactly the cavity. So baby to baby I mean, that's a big part of why. Because they have to find the recipient that will fit that.
Otherwise, they'll have a heart like a drink, a tiny heart, and a girl.
A big person. So much awareness needs to be put out. So, God bless you for doing what you do through the show and interviews and putting the media out there up to date. That's fabulous. You're right. Oh, you are just wonderful. It's 52. Kristen, that's thank you so much. I'm so glad I got to.